Hola amigos y amigas, you are now with Jocelyn, and this is our weekly energy reading for the week ahead, where we are gaining a deeper understanding and higher conscious awareness of this coming week and how we can navigate it as our higher self. So if that is something you're interested, keep watching, and if you're not already subscribed, click subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my weekly energy readings, where really the intention again is for us to remain grounded in our higher selves and really continue on progressing in our ascension journey. I'm really excited for this reading because we are in the midst of eclipse season and we are approaching a total solar eclipse, new moon in Sagittarius on December 4th, 2021. So I am excited to see how the energy of that eclipse new moon shows up in this reading, as these eclipses and lunations always show up in these readings. I have already cleansed myself, cleansed my decks, cleansed my space, and open up my channel to receive these messages. I always set the intention that those who are meant to receive the messages from this reading align to this video. So if you align to this video, then there may be some messages that you are meant to hear. So if you would like to open yourself up to receive, and you would like to cleanse yourself so that you can remain centered and grounded throughout this reading, then go ahead and do that. Press pause as needed. But without further ado, let's get into this reading, which I am so honored as always to channel and to relay. Whew. All right, let's do this. Disclaimer, I do live in the city. I do have the windows open. So we are going to affirm that we are going to remain centered and grounded throughout this reading, regardless of any neighborly city noises that may pop up in the background. So what is the overall energy for the week ahead? What is the overall energy for the week ahead? What is the overall energy for the week ahead? What is the overall energy for the week ahead as we have this Sagittarius new moon solar eclipse? What is the overall energy for the week ahead? What is the overall energy for the week? What is the overall energy for the week ahead? What is the overall energy? Is there another card? Is there one more? Or are these enough? Is there one more? Is there one more? All right. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. So the first one that came up, because there was like a deck, quite a chunk of cards that kind of fell out, and this one was upright, and so was this one, but I put it back in the deck and then it popped back out. So we are definitely meant to come to the awareness of this energy. But first we got the Earth Guardian, which is to stay rooted and grounded. This is a time to really, again, stay rooted and grounded and centered in your higher self. And that looks like really honoring your awareness that you have gained through the healing that you've done, through all the investments that you've made in yourself this year and this season. It's important to also spend some time in nature and really connect yourself and ground yourself through, the trees that are around, your neighborhood, through the nature that you have access to. If you have house plants, you can also ground yourself with your house plants. And also something that's coming to my mind is, the color green being, green signifying abundance, and really rooting yourself in this abundance mindset. So if you know yourself having any like scarcity kind of limitations popping up regarding any aspect of your life, then make sure to really observe that and witness that, and try to really ground yourself back to the knowing that you are abundance. Okay, you come from a source that is abundance, that is infinite, that is expansive and limitless, and that is who you are. That is your essence. And it's really important for us to ground ourselves in that knowing, especially during these times of transformation and transition, and also this season naturally being a season of slowing down and really being introspective. Yeah, this is really a week for us to be grounded. We also got the medicine mother, which is to honor your inner knowing. And this is also a way that you really remain rooted and grounded, which, like I said, is a reflection of really honoring your self-awareness, honoring all the healing that you have done and all the investments that you've made in yourself. What does that look like? That looks like you not, falling back into old patterns. That looks like you really allowing yourself to grieve cycles that you've closed. This looks like you really affirming that you don't need to repeat old lessons because you've already learned these lessons and you're ready for new lessons and new cycles. So this is really a time to honor your inner knowing, honor your instincts, honor what it is that you know is right for you and isn't right for you. Honor what it is that you know, like who you are and who you are not. Really take some time and hold space for yourself. Have a journaling session where you write down, like, what is my inner knowing? What is it that I know about myself? What is it that I know isn't good for me, that isn't right for me? What is it that I know I deserve? And what is it that assists me in reminding me of my inner knowing? Is it affirmations? Is it certain friendships that really hold you accountable? Is it certain grounding practices like yoga or meditation or taking walks? So really, y'all, like, I feel like there can be some challenges that may be coming up with this eclipse. There may be some uncertainties, some, moments of us questioning ourselves, questioning our paths during this season. But this is really a time to trust that all is working in your favor and that you ultimately know what is best for you, and you're not being led astray at this time, even if it seems like you are. So let's continue on. We've got the winter, which is also, perfect for the fact that we are coming into winter season. And as I said, this is really a season of like slowing down. It's really rejuvenating ourselves, coming back home to ourselves, being introspective, kind of leaning more into solitude, being more at home. And this is really a time to take care of your needs. So really confronting what it is that you need. And this is a theme that has been coming up the past few weeks of like, us being encouraged to really ask ourselves, what are my needs that are and are not being taken care of at this time? And how can I take care of them? And which of these needs do I need help taking care of? So really, really look at this, energy of winter as you nourishing yourself and you knowing that you are being nourished. Okay, let's see how this reading continues to unfold. I'm sure that we're going to gain even more clarity on these cards, as we always do as we continue to progress. What energy do we align with this week? Should any challenges or obstacles arise? What energy do we align with this week? Should any challenges or obstacles arise? What energy do we align with this week? Should any challenges or obstacles arise? So we've got a few cards that came out here. And I feel like this is, us being given a little extra guidance as I mentioned, I just feel like there may be some challenges that are coming up, perhaps, with this continued theme of truths really coming to the surface. Eclipses really are a time of, again, kind of like a blackout of sorts, like a shutting off of light. And as I mentioned in my last reading for the partial lunar eclipse that we recently had, and I just kind of touched on what the overall energy of, you know, an eclipse is and what that signifies. And again, you know, to briefly reiterate that, it's just really us being called to turn inward and really turn towards our own inner moon, our own inner sun that is providing us light, our own inner light that exists within us. So voyage, we've got voyage, and we also have like somewhat of a full moon here. We do have a new moon, and so new moons signify, you know, in general, new cycles. And also with the eclipse, I feel like that is really just going to even I don't know if strengthen is a word, but like more so emphasize that theme of new cycles coming into play, and us really needing to be mindful of the fact that we are really surrounded by such supportive, powerful energies at this time, that are assisting us in our ascension. And we really just have to do our part in trusting ourselves and preparing ourselves for this voyage, and understanding that this is really a journey, right? This, our healing, our coming back home to ourselves, our, you know, manifestation of desires, it's all a journey. And if we are not becoming appreciative of the fact that this is a voyage, this is a journey, we are going to miss out on all the gifts that journeys bring us. If we're so fixated on the destination and not really taking the time to revel in the journey that it takes to get there, and all the beautiful transformation that we go through, and the people we align with, and the healing that we do, and the awakening that we experience on the way to these destinations, we're really gonna miss out, right? And something that's kind of coming to mind is this kind of like being our higher selves, kind of, you know, being above us, carrying us along the way. And we've got, you know, our current selves right here, and that's kind of a bit premature, and we're kind of going on this voyage of kind of this maturing process to really be able to arrive to our destination safely, and more healed, and just more prepared to really receive what it is that is on its way to us. I do feel called to look into the card more and see what the booklet has to say. So let's see what the booklet has to say in regards to the voyage card. But that is what initially first came up for me. Get ready. You are about to embark on a journey. It might be an inner sojourn or an outer voyage to a distant land. It might be a project or idea that is coming to life, but most certainly you are an intrepid traveler sallying forth into the unknown. Where do you want to go? What have you always wanted to do or be? This is a time to make it happen. Get prepared, have a clear vision of what you want to experience, but also be prepared for the unexpected. That is part of the exhilaration of being a traveler. Remember to enjoy the journey as much as reaching the destination. That is exactly what I interpreted and what I was intuitively feeling. And I feel like the reason why this came up when we're talking about, you know, what energy to tap into should any challenges arise is, as it mentioned there, you know, we have to expect the inevitability of the unknown taking place in our voyages, in our journey, especially at this time, as I mentioned, where we have such powerful energy surrounding us and really encouraging us and kind of guiding us along the way towards and nudging us towards, you know, this new beginning, this new version of ourselves that we have been intuitively feeling that we are becoming and approaching. And it's just important to keep in mind that it's a journey, right? And that we owe it to ourselves, and life just becomes so much more magical and brilliant and beautiful and just full when we allow ourselves to really enjoy the ride. We've also got adventures, and I feel like this just, you know, kind of emphasizes the fact that we are really going to be seeing some newness unfold, especially with this Sagittarius new moon total solar eclipse that we have coming up. We really can expect for these new beginnings to take place, and Again, I just feel like with this waterfall here, it just keeping the perspective of like, you know, as we approach these new adventures, as we go on this voyage, we are also just being cleansed along the way, right? We have this waterfall here, and when we think of water, which also shows up in this card, we think of, you know, partly being, you know, the energy of water is also the energy of like being cleansed. And I feel like, you know, should any challenges or obstacles arise this week, it's, you know, as much as a perspective that helps us is keeping in mind that it's, you know, a journey. Everything is a journey, and it's important to enjoy the ride. It's also helpful to have the perspective of my life is being cleansed. Everything that is, you know, all the no's that I receive, all the closure that I don't get, all of the relationships that distance themselves from me, all the divine interventions that are at play, they are intending to really cleanse me, right? And when you see it that way, you don't really see losses as a loss as much. You really see it as like, okay, I'm being cleansed, I'm being purified, I'm being prepared to really arrive to this new destination as a version of myself that is really ready and able to receive. We've also got leadership, and again, I just feel like, you know, with this North Star here, we really again are being emphasized to turn inward and really honor our inner knowing, honor our inner light, and use the North Star within us to guide us, because we again truly are that powerful that we are able to intuitively guide ourselves towards, you know, where we're meant to be and the path we're meant to walk. So this is really a time to take leadership over your life and again take care of your needs. So should any challenges arise, take leadership, right? Step in as your higher self, and how would your higher self respond to this challenge that you are faced with? We've also got patience. Again, I just feel like patience, you know, if we're really going to enjoy the ride, if we're really going to enjoy the journey and bask in it and embrace it and all that it comes with, a quality that we need to really embody and practice is patience. We really, really have to be patient with how our journey is divinely unfolding, and trust, you know, really have that inner knowing that all is working in our favor. And, you know, we are no longer on the timeline of like worrying or stressing or overthinking. And that is not to shame you or to make you feel bad if you have been doing that recently. I think it's a very, you know, human thing to do. And there's, you know, also no use in making yourself feel guilty for those very human tendencies and programmings that the society has imposed on us and our upbringing. But just know, you know, like really step into your power again, step into your inner knowing, and know again that you have the power, you have the inner knowing, you have the guidance, you have the intuition. So what do we focus on healing in this coming week? What do we focus on healing? What do we focus on healing in this coming week as we approach this Sagittarius new moon solar eclipse? What do we focus on healing? So we've got masculine energy, which came up in, I believe, last week's reading, and I find that very interesting that it's coming up again. I'm going to look into the booklet to see what it says. But, you know, masculine energy, you know, I do feel like there is a lot of toxic masculinity that's still needing to be cleansed and needing to be healed, and that toxic masculinity does exist within all of us and is, you know, an energy that we need to be very mindful of, because it's the energy that you know, toxic masculinity really shows up in, you know, the systems that have oppressed us, because toxic masculinity shows up as, you know, an ego-driven power or hunger for power that is really rooted in greed. And it's also just this unhealthy balance of just fear. I feel like ultimately toxic masculinity is rooted in fear. And sometimes that fear manifests itself as us putting up walls and us kind of creating these blockages for ourselves. It shows up as, what's that word? Sabotaging. It shows up again as like greed or hunger for power. So if you have found yourself desiring things that are kind of rooted in your ego's desires, it might be good for you to revisit that and just be mindful of, like, you know, how both your masculine and feminine energies are showing up in your desires and in your habits and your way of being. Let's look at what the booklet says for this card. So we've got the sun here. And let's keep in mind that this is a total solar eclipse. So it is so in alignment that we've got the sun card coming up. And it's also, important to keep in mind that it is seen that and it is perceived that the sun is masculine energy and the moon is feminine energy. That's why, you know, when we have full moons and the energy of the moon is really, really powerful, we can find ourselves being a bit more emotional, because that's the feminine energy of like nurturing and just really tuning into your emotions. And that's why full moons have like that extra power over water, and water is also primarily what we're made of, and is also in correlation to emotions. So just keep in mind that the sun is, you know, in correlation to masculine energy, and we are approaching a solar eclipse at this time. So this is very on point. The sun, powerful, a life force without which nothing on this earth could survive. The masculine energy is one of action, doing, creating, forcing. So if healthy masculinity looks like action, doing, creating, forcing, but with good intention, maybe be mindful of, you know, have you not been taking action because of fear or whatever other reason? Have you not been doing? Have you not been creating? Have you not been forcing? And I feel like forcing in this case isn't like forcing like forcing something to happen. It's more so like from the life force perspective. In nature, it is balanced out with feminine energy. When we find ourselves embodying this energy, we get things done. We are thinking, logical beings. If we reside here too staunchly, we do not have any room for the opposite energy to come in. Being able to effortlessly flow from one to the other, masculine to feminine, is a pinnacle of being in the flow energetically. Sometimes in love relationships, the energy turns topsy-turvy and we end up residing in an energy that doesn't meet our highest need. This is hard to break out of due to the fear of, if I don't do it, it won't get done. So really just kind of taking on burdening yourself also looks like toxic masculinity, is also a reflection of toxic femininity. Really taking on responsibilities that don't belong to you. And it's also important to note that healing toxic masculinity is also healing your femininity, because if you have toxic masculinity, that means that your femininity is not balanced and you need more feminine energy in your being. So also examine the ways in which perhaps you've been ignoring your emotions, you've been ignoring your needs. And, again, this is really a season to be taking care of our needs. Realize that two people make up a relationship, and in an evolved one, the relationship itself evolves its own energetic balance, a perfect combination of yin and yang, masculine and feminine. If there is a void in one area, an imbalance will develop, and as is the nature of things, unconsciously we will try to balance out. Being aware is a perfect first step. So I feel like, you know, this is also just kind of a sign to, you know, place some attention towards certain relationships in your life. This could be a relationship with yourself, but also a relationship with a significant other, with someone from your past, with someone in your family, a loved one, a friend, whoever it is that first comes to mind when I say this, and just seeing if that reciprocity and that balance of both masculine and feminine energy is showing up in that relationship. We've also got ascension, and I feel like you know, the fact that this is coming up, you know, and like, what do we focus on healing this week? And we've got ascension. I just feel like that is just confirmation that ascension is taking place at this time, and we are being encouraged to continue healing so that we can continue ascending. We've also got sexual energy. Sexual energy is an energy that can be extremely healing if you have a partner who you feel safe with, who really honors and respects your body, and who honestly is aware of, you know, how exchanging sexual energy with one another really is an exchange of energy, and they're mindful of that. And you know, that mindfulness shows up as them being mindful of their own energy, their own balance of masculinity and femininity, their own nourishing of self, their own bodies, and how their own energy will impact you as you know, partake in this sexual energy with each other. Then definitely take advantage of the fact that you have someone to exchange that sexual energy with, that makes you feel safe and empowered as you both kind of contribute to amplifying this sexual energy with each other. And you know, you don't need a partner to really partake in having this sexual energy be amplified. And sexual energy doesn't always look like sexual intercourse. Sometimes it looks like creativity. Creativity can also be very sensual and sexual and very healing. So for those of you who have felt like you have some blockages in your sex life, or just in, you know, your sexual energy, just feel like, you know, you've been craving sexualness, then really invest in that and look into that, because blockages in our sexual energy, which is, I believe, is it our solar plexus? Is it our solar plexus? I believe it is. I feel like it is the solar plexus that has to do with healing sexual energy. But you want to look into the chakra that is in that area of where your abdomen and your hips, and just kind of that area, and really, you know, engaging in exercises that also help you release and flow any energy that is blocked there and stagnant. So invest in that this week, because you don't want any blockages in any area of your energy centers or of your auric field. So just keep that in mind, okay? I do feel called to look into this Ascension card. So let's briefly, really quickly see. Ascension is a process of conscious living. We are all spiritual beings. We are all souls in a human body who are living life on this earth in order to learn and grow at the soul's level. That is being spiritual. Whether you are conscious of it or not, you are walking towards ascension. Each experience, relationship, obstacle, joy, and creation will bring you one step closer on the ladder of where we all end, with a greater awareness of ourselves than we started out with. So really, really just continue investing in your self-awareness. Okay. So what do we focus on surrendering this week? What do we focus on surrendering? What do we focus on surrendering? What do we focus on surrendering this week as we approach this solar eclipse, Sagittarius new moon? What do we focus on surrendering this week? What do we focus on surrendering? Thank you, universe, loving angels, and loving ancestors, Spirit guide, spirit team, Mother in the earth, Father in the sky, guardians of the four corners, higher self, thank you for all this guidance and for your messages. What do we focus on surrendering this week? 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 So we've got surrender to spirit, and I feel like that's really a reflection of honoring your inner knowing and also remaining rooted and grounded as the earth guardian. Once you've done everything once you've done everything you can to achieve a goal, turn the situation over to the divine. Let spirit work its magic on you. So this is really the energy of, again, trusting that all is divinely unfolding, and as long as you are doing your best and showing up for yourself, that is enough. That is enough. So just surrender to spirit. This is really a time to surrender to spirit. It's also a time to surrender denial. Accept people and situations exactly as they are without denying the difficulties. Then you can see things clearly and make the best decisions. So have you been in denial in regards to a person in your life? Have you been in denial towards a certain truth? Have you been turning a blind eye to it? Have you been in denial about something about yourself? Have you been in denial about your desires, in denial about your finances, in denial about just any aspect of your life? The first ones that come to mind, those you are being encouraged to really confront the truth of and surrender the denial of, because it's so important that we not only practice patience, but we also practice acceptance. Both of those characteristics and qualities are really going to assist us in our ascension and in really stepping into our higher selves. We've also got surrender to play, and I feel like this one came up last week as well, if not the week before, if not very, very recently, which is, just a really extra emphasis of the fact that right now it's really important for us to play and really connect with our inner childs and really just have fun, okay? This life is meant to be fun, y'all. If we're not having fun, if we're not allowing ourselves to play, we're not doing this right, because this life is a one of one, and we deserve to play. We deserve to have fun. We deserve to do things that we enjoy and invest in things that we love and that uplift us, and that also really, connect us to spirit. One way that you can really surrender to spirit is by really allowing yourself to play and have fun and laugh and, do things that you love and you enjoy. So take a break from overthinking a goal, do something fun. Play is a time of recreation and rejuvenation. Again, this winter season of taking care of your needs really is a season of rejuvenation, and sometimes taking care of your needs looks like having fun, because when you have fun, you are really also circulating that energy and uplifting your vibration, and that's just so important. So what are our affirmations for this week, again, as we approach this solar eclipse, new moon in Sagittarius? What are our affirmations for this week? What are our affirmations for this week? What are our affirmations for this week ahead? What are our affirmations for this week ahead? So first one that we got is, there is no blame. I release the need to blame anyone, including myself. We are all doing the best we can with the understanding, knowledge, and awareness we have. Yes, our higher selves do not blame anyone, because we know that we are all really navigating this world and meeting others as deeply as we've met ourselves. And there is no need to shame others in that. It is just important that we are not in denial of how people show up and how people act and how people are when they show us. But there's, again, no one to blame. No one to blame, not even yourself, okay? We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We've also got life is simple and easy. All that I need to know at any given moment is revealed to me. I trust myself and I trust life. All is well. Yes, 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 yes. We are on this timeline of ease, okay? Of ease and knowing and trusting that as we continue to invest in ourselves and invest in our healing and intend to align with our higher selves and really be intentional with our actions, we can trust and we can make that timeline jump to trust that we do not need to attract, that we do not need to chase, that we attract, that the energy we are emitting as our higher selves, as this higher self that we are becoming, is attracting the opportunities meant for us, is attracting our deepest authentic desires, is attracting us towards what is meant for us, and we do not need to chase. And that all that is, meant for us and all that we need at any given moment is revealed and gifted to us in divine time. And we just need to, again, trust ourselves. This is really a season of us trusting ourselves, trusting spirit, again, surrendering to spirit, us showing up for ourselves, doing our best and allowing that to be enough, and really being aware that, we're not alone in this journey. It's really that season, y'all. Again, life is simple and easy, and we truly do make life more complicated than it needs to be. But again, we are not in a space of blaming or shaming ourselves or anyone else, because as I mentioned earlier, this is really just a part of the human experience and human tendencies that we have. But just having the awareness that it's possible for us to really live a life of ease, live a life of us attracting, live a life of alignment, and just really surrendering to spirit and being in full acceptance, no longer denying any truth, is possible. Really living a life that has balanced masculinity and femininity, us being aware that we are continuously ascending, and that as we ascend with the mindfulness that this is a journey, and that this is really a life to be present for and not to run away from in any way, shape, or form. It's just such a game changer. So I hope that you all enjoyed this reading, and I hope that it brought you clarity in some way, shape, or form. Again, y'all, this is really a beautiful, exciting time. Knowing that we are approaching a new beginning that is making itself available to us, and we're really just being prepared at this time. We really are just being matured at this time to be able to become a version of ourselves that is open to receive in a healthy way, in a way that is empowering, in a way that really doesn't fumble the bag. When we receive it, we're in a space and we're a version of ourselves that is really able to own the blessing, own the manifestations, own the opportunities and the blessings that we attract and that are making its way to us. So my friends, really just stay grounded, really trust yourselves. Again, honor your inner knowing, honor your awareness, honor your path and the way that your path is divinely unfolding. And my friends, really take care of your needs, right? Take care of your needs, take care of your desires. Do not run from yourself, from the truth of yourself, and from anyone else, but especially from yourself, because we're really in this. We're really in this at this time of truth, of what no longer serves us is serving us being dismantled, of us ascending into our higher selves and who we're meant to become and really fulfilling our soul's purpose. So I can go on and on, but my friends, as always, I will leave timestamps in the description below should you want to revisit this reading throughout the week, which I do recommend. As always, I'll be providing journaling prompts to further assist you in your reflections and in your alignment to this new moon in Sagittarius total solar eclipse energy. And I thank you all so much for investing in yourselves. Thank you for healing. Thank you for ascending. Thank you for allowing yourself and being willing to become more self-aware. It is so impactful and life-changing and really, changes the world in ways that you may not be aware of. So thank you so much, and thank you so much for bringing me into your present moment. I am so honored, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye.